I kind of think maybe they have. A lot of newspapers have closed down these days, and there's more and more, a ton more content um, that's being, all the time. And sometimes it's not true. Sometimes a lot of things that put out there that aren't true. Let's start out. See, so we're going to go through this pretty fast. What's the difference between a print? This is what I want you to take away from this, is right here. What's the difference between print stories and digital stories? So let's just read through this real quick. So just read with me. One crucial difference between print and digital stories is timeliness. Digital stories can be posted seconds after they're written and updated constantly as events unfold, just like news that's on a broadcast on radio and TV. Do you ever find out, like, when you watch the TV news, the local news, it's like a day behind, and that's the reason. Or say, like, your favorite performer or actor or singer or somebody dies, and you know it within minutes. Pew, you know. Breaking news dispatchers are usually filed by the reporter covering the story, and through these continuous news versions are often pieced together by staffers using media sources or rewriting a beat's reporter's notes. As New York Times political reporter Richard Stevenson explains, if I feel that I don't have a story nailed down sufficiently, or that I don't have time, or that taking that time would prevent me from doing the reporting I need to do, then I won't agree to do a continuous news version. All others between the two media are not or more visibly apparent. So take the news story at the left, for example. It uses a big photo to catch your eye, but on the web pages, it's a smaller photo. That's interesting. Um, Okay, but on the web, it's so the users may have small monitors or slow connection speeds. And if you have a large picture, you know how long it takes for a picture to download on your computer or even on your cell phone. It could take forever. And when that happens, do you usually tend to read the story? I don't. Nope. Nope. Something else. So the text is hard to read on a computer screen, which is why web pages use bigger type than newspapers do. Also, I want to point out that a lot of the typeface is an Arial typeface. They're not always a serif type, and it's a little easier to read. And the spacing is a little different too. Um, see, stories run in just one column too, which forces readers to scroll downward as they read. And the story at the right would fill two screens. So instead of like 2 and 3 screens, you have one long column so that you can scroll through it and read it easier. That would be the main thing. Okay, and like I said, I apologize. Let me just read through this real quick, okay? There's something, let's see, from homepage story to an online page story. Okay, so I'm just going to roll through this. So the difference is that we see this homepage story. It's got a big picture. We see all these different columns and like that. And if it's an online story, we don't do that. We do a much more simpler version, more like, let me see if I can show you this. Much more like this right here. It's more simple. You have your headline and you have your story, and you have your whole layout here, and then here over here you have what your highlights, what's in your story, and that would be the major difference. So I'm going to just blow through this page since it's not doing too hot here. That's it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is reporting on multiple platforms. So modern stories now, to keep it interesting, um, in let's see, in the beginning was the word, and then came along photos, audio, video, Google, Facebook, Twitter. With so many technologies, new consumers had become a fragmented audience, and some prefer browsing headlines and story chunks to their smartphones, and others hop from link to link on the web. And there's so many different platforms, is what they're saying. And in news media nowadays, so we're going to be looking. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't see that. So there's a lot of different ways the media gets out there. How a modern story evolves from a tweet to the printed page. Um, so a lot of like flashing news stories now comes out of Twitter. May come on Instagram when a celebrity or a politician gets on and talks, tells you a story about what happened, and that's the day's story. A lot of times, what the president will tweet something out, one of his mad, crazy tweets, and then it ends up being the top news story that day. Does a news story have to be a story, or does it for that matter? Let's go on to the next page. Sorry about that page again. I have bad lights. So we're living in a crazy news media era right now where traditional news media is not as popular as Get It Now and see an online conversation that followed. Okay, so they're talking about Twitter. Let's flip through that. That's not really okay. So now they're talking about on this page journalism and social media, how information networks spread news. And here's something I just wanted to go over real quick here. 7 reasons. Let's look at this real quick. 7 reasons why journalists should use social media. Okay, so number 1 reason why you should use social media, according to Miss Cat Moon, is that I think, 1, it's going to help you get a job. It's helped me get several different jobs being on social media, and also continue doing your blog, and continue doing reporting, and do the job that you love, and be out there. And be out there on social media, because that's going to land you the job you're looking for. It's going to make you look like you take this seriously and that you're a real professional, and it's going to give you a better shot at getting a good job. People are going to follow you and see you. That's my number 1 reason. So, and again, number 1 on the list is it's where your audience is. People don't park themselves at news websites all day, but they do constantly monitor their social networks, smartphones, tablets, computers. So that's where your audience is. 2, it's easy, effective way to cover breaking news. It's also a good way for you to keep up on the news and what's going on. And that's what a good journalist needs to do. It directs traffic to your publication website. Ooh, okay. And it extends the shelf life of the stories you produce. It helps you engage with your readers. It improves your reporting. It improves your writing. There you go, folks. There you have it. Okay. Think before you tweet. Okay, so here's the next one I'm going to go over really fast. Think before you tweet. So you might want to just breeze over that. So I am going to just say this, leave this right here real quick for college students, is think before you put that thing up on the Instagram. I don't know if anybody's on Facebook anymore, but or whatever social network you're on these days. Think about that drunken brawl, that party, picture of your of whatever body part you're posting, or whatever thing that's just not so of good taste. Your young adults going into the job market. Just think about what you post on social media these days. And I'm sorry, there's a lawnmower going. Hold on a minute. I'm going to close the door. Sorry for that interruption. Okay, so that the next thing, blogging. Glance. Okay, so we all know about blogging. We've been doing blogging. Let's flip over that. Let's don't worry about that. The Glance, the Journalist's Guide to Blogging. I'm just going to ask you the question, though, to think about. Why do you think a journalist should keep a blog? And going into this profession of journalism, why should you have a blog? One should just give that some thought. Updating. Okay, writing for the web. I'm just losing something here. Okay. Okay. I think I did skip some pages. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you're writing for the web, it's good to write good short articles. Websites often teeming with ads, splashy colors. It's not bad enough. Your constant urge to abandon what you're reading, so clicking. Okay, so just, you're going to make your web articles, if you notice, are a little more concise and a little bit shorter than if you read something that's printed. The new motto in the new modern newsroom is think online first. How's it going to look when it goes online? So you can read over that real quick. Okay, so here's some more information about writing for online. Chunk your information. The research shows that web users are far more likely to scan the story than actually read it line for line. And I know a lot of us sort of just read real quick like that. Another thing in online writing is you add subheads, bullets, and lists, short lists, boldface type that grabs the eye, and bullets. You can read through this part here real quick too. This is a really good thing to know. Okay, so it's writing more concise way when you write for the web. Rethink what a story is. Your goal should be to produce not just a story, but an online package, combination of web pages and new media options linked together. It's vital to understand that effective online journalism transcends text. Yes, text is a valuable tool. It still does most of the heavy lifting, but web reporters have other powerful tools they can add too. Different topics will require different storytelling techniques. As a digital news pioneer, just keep us. Anyway, when you're doing a web story, you're going to find ways to enhance your story. Make me care about it and make me want to look at it. Okay, let's keep going. Incorporating links. This is something I want to go over. So this is talking about links provide extra layers of information to your online story. And I believe we had a student in class. Was it Mr. I'm not sure who it was. Mr. Sean Blue, maybe? I had him add a link. This is a good way to say, like, you're mentioning one story maybe you had previously written, and you might have written that story. You might want, when you mention that person's name, a lot of times in media, in online journalism, the writer will provide another link. So if you click on that link, you can read more depth about the story in a previous article that's been written. That's a really important thing, that they use the hyperlinks. Let me get a drink of my tea here. So here you can go through and look at some examples of how they did that here, which is really powerful. House panel approves bill with Iraq timetable. So it's a little hard to see, I'm sorry, but this kind of show, I like the way they did this timetable here, and that you're able to go in here and really, they show you, do a lot of show and tell with diagram in the package. Guidelines to adding links to your stories. Okay, so you can use keywords that can take you to those stories. And it could be a way for you to show your source too. So if you're saying, the American Association has, hyperlink, has declared that smoking is bad for your health. You would use American Association and you would link to them, and it would give you that key fact where people could read more about smoking is bad for your health. That's just an example. Incorporating media. Now, this is something I'd like to see you do more in your blogs as you mature as a news writer, journalist. So it says text plus photos, audio, video, graphics equals multimedia. And more in today's job market, um, you see in the ads, and employers want the whole package. They want they're a multimedia, journalist, or something like that, media journalist, and they want people that know how to do it all. You can shoot, edit, social media, you can do everything. Um, you want to include some good photos. Just a single photo can add information and visual appeal to any story. You want to have audio. Maybe it's a speech that you went to in town hall that you're covering. You might want to have a sample clip of something like that. Good video of what happened is always a great thing to have. Graphics, diagrams, visuals. And here, this page, you can look over some more. I just really want you to consider the multimedia aspect of journalism, and what you can, and start looking at things that you're reading, and being aware of how really good articles are laid out. Let's flip over to the next page. We're on page 174. If you're following along in your book, let's see, I may have encouraging user participation. That is like the huge thing in modern journalism that's really shifted, is that more and more that media is more engagement than it ever was before. And we could have a whole big conversation about that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep on moving forward. Let's just keep moving forward. You can read through that if you want. I'm just kind of going through the brief version of this. Media convergence. Sorry about the page. So let's just keep going. Citizen journalism. Let's see, where are we at? Pros and users. Media convergence. Okay, so I have a thing of sports right here. In sports journalism, like I said, the whole multimedia package is really important. It really gets your fans more involved. The fans, planning online packages. So also in the book, I did not include it, but if you want to look, online package planning, there's also a worksheet that it's about, like, helps you plan an online package, like what kind of media you're going to use, and how you're going to lay it out. That's mainly it for this chapter. I just really wanted to go over the difference in how do you lay out an article versus a traditional newspaper magazine to writing content online, that there's a real difference, and creating your multi-journalism package. So I think we're just going to have a discussion about this, and then we're going to talk tomorrow in our class meeting, and look forward to it, and talk to you soon. Bye.